Welcome to the program, everybody. You'll have to excuse me this week. I have a bit of a cold. I think too many times out at the track. But you know, we got another busy weekend ahead at the tracks and another one just gone by. So let's start off in Montreal at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. With 11 laps to go, Michael Schumacher's Benetton Renault developed a gear shift problem, relegating him to the pits for a new steering wheel. You gotta love those push-button steering shifters, don't you? Schumacher's woes was enough to place the red number 27 Ferrari in front. A tearful Jean Alesi behind the wheel went on to capture his first win in 91 starts. On his birthday to boot, what a gift. The victory was Ferrari's first Canadian win since Michele Alboreto in '85. Here's the results and points from Montreal. Ferrari is now the winningest team in F1 history with 105 firsts. Alesi's emotions and comments about Gilles Villeneuve are concrete proof that the Formula One community still have great feelings about the famous driver of the prancing horse. The weekend at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve was complete with races in the Magna Enduro Series, the SL ProTech BF Goodrich F1600 Series, and the Players Limited Toyota Atlantic Championship. Making their 14th visit to the Montreal Grand Prix, race 6 of the 95 schedule was a field 27 strong of Players Limited Toyota Atlantic teams. Patrick Carpentier had the pole. David Embringham was alongside for a Canadian sweep of the front row. Carpentier's clutch broke at the start, but he was able to continue. Richie Hearn shot through from the second row to take the lead, followed by Embringham. David pressured Hearn, getting past him on the third lap to take the lead. By lap 12, David had stretched his lead. The Motomaster Slick 50 driver never was challenged the rest of the way. With a 7-second lead, David Embringham drove the Ralt RT41 to his 4th win of the season and his 9th of his Atlantic career. Carpentier and fellow Quebec driver Bernie Schuchman collided on the 9th lap. Schuchman continued to finish 13th. Carpentier retired to the pit with suspension damage. That's the story about the series regulars. They were joined by several other Canadians for this race. Richmond Hill's Lee Bentham qualified 13th and finished a very, very respectable 5th on the lead lap. Martin Roy from Montreal started way back in 27th and soldiered through for an 8th place finish. Not bad. BC native Michael Clifford started 22nd and finished 12th. Downsview, Ontario's Paul Delchin qualified 12th, but an early spin put him out with mechanical damage. He was listed 24th. Toronto's Tony D'Amico had a rough weekend, stalling his car on the grid. They have a standing start format, and that put him out right off the bat. Here's the race results and the points. In the Magna Enduro Series 1-hour event, the overall win went to Stéphane Valou for the 2nd straight year. Valou took the lead on lap 2, holding it until a slow pit stop gave Richard Spinard the chance to get out from the pit first. Spinard held the lead until his Porsche 968 blew a head gasket with 10 minutes to go. He was done for the day. Round 1 winner Peter Lockhart and Nick Morant kept their Wasteco Bell Additives Cosmo BMW M5 in the hunt at all times, but could not muster up enough to beat the Dicom Air Montreal Porsche 968 of Valou. Scott Maxwell finished 3rd in the Quality Care STP Ford Mustang, and here is a look at all 3 classes. Our final report from Montreal is of the SL ProTech BF Goodrich race. Formula 1600 racing is alive and well. Some 50 cars were presented on the start-finish straight for the race. From the pole, Jean-Francois Valou won on a rain-soaked track that took many spinning off course. 19-year-old Andrew Borden from Woodbridge finished 2nd. The rookie driver was racing in the rain for the very first time, and I can tell you that's a tough one. I did that there in a Honda Michelin car in Montreal. Toronto's Chris Fowler, only 17 years old, finished 3rd. Lou McKenzie took the first place honors for the B class of older cars, and here they are, a look at Class A and Class B. Let's head over to Detroit, where the Indy cars, the Indy Lights, and the Trans Ams were at the Belle Isle Park circuit for the running of the ITT Automotive Detroit Grand Prix. IndyCar had American drivers sweeping the top 5 spots. Robbie Gordon won his second of the year. Jimmy Vasser finished second, while Patrick Racing with drivers Scott Pruitt continued to show consistency with a third-place finish. Paul Tracy started fourth, challenged for the lead throughout, but was relegated to 8th due to pit stop sequencing and stalling during his last stop. Jacques Villeneuve had his race affected by pit stops as well. Unable to refuel on his first stop due to an air hose from Patrick Racing obstructing Villeneuve's pit entry, he had to make an extra stop. Jacques started 9th, and that's where he finished. During a post-race quote, Villeneuve complained of shifter problems all race long as well, and then now the guys will move on to Portland June 25th, and Jacques still leads the points. Let's take a look at the results from Detroit and the points. The Indy Lights race, Greg Moore was on the front row. Robbie Buell captured the pole, setting a new track record. Greg Moore also turned a lap faster than the previous record, but he started second. Hopes of a 6th consecutive win for Moore was dashed when the checkered flag waved early for race leader Robbie Buell. A first-lap crash caused lengthy delays, forcing race officials to shorten the event 24 laps shy of the 36 scheduled. Bertrand Godin started 20th in his first race as replacement driver for the Players Limited Indy Lights team. Godin almost collected in the first lap crash, improved his starting spot by 6 to finish 14th. Let's look at the finishing order from Detroit. Whoa, what's going on in Detroit? Indy cars were shut out. Indy Lights were shut out. Well, Canadian fans did not go home from Detroit without one of our guys winning. Ron Fellows claimed the SCCA Trans Am victory in Saturday's 48-lap race. The Motor City 100 in Detroit is always a favorite for the folks in the bow tie and blue oval camps to stake a claim to. Greg Pickett's second-place finish gave the Chevy people a 1-2 finish in the heart of Carland. Dorsey Schrader finished third in the Ford Mustang. Taking a look at the finishing order, let's have a look. These results have tied Chevy and Ford for the Manufacturers' Cup. Kendall is your points leader, and Ron has moved into third. Trans Am teams are at Portland International Raceway this weekend for the Rain X Rose Cup Trans Am feature. For their thoughts about the race this weekend, here are Ron Fellows and Tommy Kendall.
Ron Fellows has done quite well at Portland International Raceway, winning the last 2, trying to make it a three-peat in 1995. But it's a whole new ball game, a new team, a new chassis. What do you look at going into the 95 race?
Well, I think this new Camaro handles very, very well. There's a premium in that in handling at Portland. Got to have real good power. And certainly the Mustang has, when I raced there before, we had plenty of horsepower. It's also a momentum racetrack, and that's what I think I'm good at. I'm very much looking forward to driving the new Camaro there. It's particularly through the back section. You've got to have lots of grip. The car's got to be well balanced through there, and this new Camaro does that really well.
You had a really tough crash at Lime Rock. Fortunately, you weren't injured, and you've been able to participate in Detroit, but you need to get some strong finishes going, and you're going to a place where you've done so well. So,
yeah, so have the last 2 been. Yeah, we've just been a little bit unlucky, I think, but we're not didn't get seriously hurt. We got some bumps and bruises that are still a bit painful, but the car stood up real well. yeah, we've got to string together some maximum points here, and we've been very fast in qualifying. We're going to continue to do that, taking our chances and getting to the front in the race. You know, working on getting a little bit better package through the race. You know, I've got to do a few things differently in the race also to get to the front. You know, it's certainly not desperate, but at this point I feel like we don't have a whole lot to lose. You know, we've got to go for lots of points. So whatever way we can get them, we're going to get them.
Go, Ron, go. Here's Tommy Kendall with his thoughts.
Tommy, Portland is one of the few circuits in North America that you haven't won on, but you've been competitive. What's the story?
You had to bring that up. We haven't won at Portland in any type of car. It's been close a number of times, and I like the place, so it's not that. It's just the law of averages has got to catch up with us sooner or later. We're going to win one. Hopefully it'll be this year.
Give us your thoughts on the racetrack itself, in particular Festival Curves, which for Trans Am cars seems to be where most of the passing has taken place since it came into being.
The track on paper doesn't look too difficult, but getting around there consistently without making mistakes for the entire race is a tough task. And the Festival Curves, I think that's kind of a misnomer. I think that they're far from a party because there's always beating and bagging on each other. It's a good show for the fans, but I prefer the higher speed stuff at the end of the back straightaway and so forth.
Because that track has a little bit of everything, some relatively fast turns on the back side of the course, a long back straight, a long front straight, where do you set your car up to be on the top of its game?
You want it to handle well down the straightaway. If you can get down the chutes good, you're going to be in pretty good shape, especially if you want to do any passing or keep from being passed. You need to get down the chute. I feel great about the All-Sport car this year. The engine program is spot on, and I'm really looking forward to going back.
NASCAR and the Winston Cup teams were at the Pocono International Raceway for the running of the UAW GM Teamworks 500. Terry Labonte took the win and is 7th overall in points with 1,611. Let's take a look at the race results and the point standings. And how about some oval track racing a little closer to home? The Motorsport International Speedway, June 10th, had Thunder Cars, street stocks, late model sportsmans, and modifieds. Let's take a look at the Thunder Car feature first. We pick up the action here. We see Sean Hardy to the inside of the Neil Singerling number 16 car, the rest of the field making its way around. A little further in the pack, the number 3 car, Ken Donaldson, Richie Minette in the 5, and Dan Robinson in the 2 car. They're the ones that will be up front soon. But here it is. Joe Anderson, the first to go around the 0 car as he sits sideways across the track. Gets the car back underway. Meanwhile, back to action as the field makes its way around. Ken Donaldson, Richie Minette, and Dan Robinson are making their way up through the pack. And here comes the race leaders now on the front straight. Ken Donaldson, and there's the number 5. That's Richie Minette trying to chase down the race leader, the number 3 car, the cartoon car of Ken Donaldson. Field covered. Richie Minette got as close as about 2 car lengths, but never had a chance. The number 9 car, Ken Perrier, is out for the night. Meanwhile, back to the race leaders. Here we go. Donaldson to the inside past the number 91, Robin McNevin to the inside. Richie Minette trying all he can around the outside to get by the lap traffic, but again, there's just no way that Richie Minette's going to catch up to Donaldson tonight. For the checkered flag, Ken Donaldson takes the win. The car is making a habit of talking to us. Ken Donaldson, the number 3 car. Congratulations, you did it again.
Thanks a lot. It was a little harder this time. I started at the back there, I think about 25th or 26th, and got boxed in a couple times, but I made it.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, you were boxed in a couple times, yourself and Richie Minette and Dan Robinson. You had to have been looking at your mirror and thinking, oh no.
Yeah, I sure was. Richie and Dan are, us 3 always seem to start together, and so far I've been the lucky one that comes out in front, but those guys are right there with me.
Well, tonight it was you again, the cartoon car, number 3, Thunder Car. Congratulations, Ken Donaldson.
Thanks very much.
Missing from that order is Dan Robinson. He finished in the top 5, but a post-race tech had him disqualified due to his engine. Richie Minette, he leads the points, 182. Street stocks were up next, and as per normal, it was a good one. Let's have a look. Here's Mike Cross in the 1970 Plymouth Cuda, leading the field right in behind number 10, Royce Jones. And Graham Brown in the number 22. We'll hear a lot about him in this race. Royce and Graham go through and take over first and second spot. The Mike Cross number 07 car getting pushed back. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. We've got a 3-car battle for the lead. Graham Brown in front, then it's Royce Jones again, and now up into battle there is the 09 of David Lee. David Lee goes to the inside of Royce Jones through corner number 3, and he'll take over second spot. He's not done yet. Hang on, Graham. Look in those mirrors. Out of corner 2, side by side. It's Graham on the outside and Dave Lee on the inside. They'll go side by side here for most of this lap. You'll see him coming through corner number 3, side by side. These guys never touch. They get real close at times until, well, at least the last lap. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Dave Lee manages to forge his way past and takes over the spot, but hang on, not quite yet. Here comes Graham. He's back to the inside, the 22 car let down low. Dave Lee up high in the 09. They're side by side at the halfway point. Yeah, the halfway point. Royce Jones, he's managed to get himself back up into the fight. But this is it, the final corner, and Dave Lee, Graham Brown come together once, twice, put in a few more times, but to the line, Dave Lee, he takes the checkered flag. Another fantastic street stock feature. Congratulations, Dave Lee. Wow, what a finish.
Thanks very much, Glenn. This is a real good race. Graham and I had a real good run the whole race. Royce Jones was right there at the end. He would have took it if we had screwed up, but Graham and I had a real good run, side by side there for a few laps. And anybody's race.
Yeah, touching a few times, I might add.
Yeah, 4 or 5 touches there the last lap there, coming out of corner 4, but it was a good race. Anyone could have won that one.
Anything else you think you can add to that? What about a little earlier in the race to get to that point? What do you have to say about the way the whole race ran?
I wasn't too bad. I got blocked in there for a bit and got pushed high a couple times, but other than that, I had a pretty good run.
Yeah, you had a great run. Congratulations,
Thank
feature
you very
winner.
much.
Dave Lee takes the street stock feature. Late model sportsmen are next. Let's take a look. Right at the drop of the green flag, Frank Baudo with a hard hit. Alex Hamilton involved. There's the number 17 car limping out of this race. Alex is done. And Frank Baudo, he's up at corner number 1. The ambulance comes out, but Frank a little shooken up, but he's okay. Meanwhile, they have a complete restart. Michel Bayard and the number 97, Gary Baker, on the front row. Right off the top, Gary Baker takes the lead from the outside of the front row. Randy Gray is parked sideways on the front straight, the number 28 car. His race is run. Fluid pouring out from the front of the car. Back to action, the 05. Kevin O'Hara, he's going to be leading this one. The 05 car is out front. And never challenged all the way to the checkered flag. Kevin O'Hara took the late model sportsman feature tonight. Hey, congratulations, a good run, you know.
Thank you.
It was probably a little bit easy, but I mean, you did a fine job, but a couple of the competitors got knocked out.
Yes, Alex got knocked out, so that helped us a lot, and we had a good night. It was fun. At least the weather held off.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really good.
And this was your first feature win here.
Yeah, first feature win here, and this is our only second race here, so we did pretty good, I guess.
You ran the road course last week as well, and you ran in the wet and did a pretty good job there, I might add, as well. But how about tonight's race? Anything in particular that you thought was going to be a problem for you tonight?
Just Alex Hamilton was going to be a problem, but no, it ran really well. We had a good time, and it was a lot of fun, and we had a great time.
All right, well, congratulations, Kevin.
Okay, thank you.
Kevin O'Hara took the late model sportsman feature here tonight. Alex Hamilton and Mike Horton, they're tied for first, 172 each. Modifieds ran the final feature. Let's have a look. Strong field of cars, and it was great to see Jim Rossiter back with the number 66 after 2 blown engines. To the inside, you see the 2 and the 02. The Browns will be the story in this one. Dwight Brown, the number 2, to the inside of Jim Rossiter, and alongside is the 92. That's Tom Wilson. He'll play into this. Meanwhile, as Brown out in front, the familiar red number 2, Dwight Brown leads this one. The battle turned out to be for third, Jim Rossiter, Tom Wilson, and Darrell Leatherdale. The Browns are up front, Dwight Brown and Graham Brown. Here's that battle for third one more time. As they come through corners 2 and 3, Leatherdale and Wilson touch. Wilson gets a little crossed up, and Leatherdale will go around the outside saying thanks very much. Rossiter's out there in third. Meanwhile, back up front, Graham's managed to catch up to Dwight. Not an easy achievement at motorsport with those modifieds in Dwight Brown's car. Running up on the lap traffic. That's not going to be the only time that lap traffic gets in their way. Dwight Brown will use it to his advantage. Back again for the battle for third. Wilson and Leatherdale side by side. Rossiter's going to have to sit back and watch this one. They come into corner number 2, touching wheels, open-wheeled modifieds. Leatherdale goes around, lights it up. Automatic transmissions, he keeps it going, and no yellow flag. Back up front, here it is, to the stripe, Dwight Brown and Graham Brown. Modified feature's been run, and you recognize this guy, Dwight Brown. He did it again. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. The R&B Motorsports car ran great tonight. Just couldn't ask for anything better.
The only question I want to ask you is towards the end there, when your brother Graham was breathing all over you, you did something that is kind of uncharacteristic. You guys came up on some lap traffic, and normally the lap traffic moves down low out of the way, and you go around the high side. You went right down low past them all. And was that a little bit of a risk for you?
It was a bit of a risk, but coming out of the corner, the lap cars seemed like they were moving up. They were pushing up the racetrack, and it looked like the best place to go.
Yeah.
So that's where we went, and knowing Graham was behind me with 5 seconds in the night, I figured he kind of really wanted to win. So.
Yeah, well, it turned out to be you. Congratulations again, Dwight.
Thank you very much.
Dwight Brown, the modified feature winner. A lot of guys come out and deserve a victory, but I'll tell you, Graham Brown, you deserved at least one tonight. Twice you came in second in the features, but in total, what was it, 5 seconds and a third on the night?
5 seconds and a third. Should have won, but what can you do? Thing was running okay. R&B Motorsports prepared cars. They were hooked up, and it was running good.
Yeah, what about that run in the street stocks?
It got a little close between me and Dave, but we'll work things out.
How badly did you want to beat Dwight in the modified?
As long as we brought the cars home in one piece, I wasn't really pushing it too hard, because there's no sense wrecking 2 cars when we both have to fix them anyways. So.
Well, you know, you had a good run tonight, and your day's going to come for sure in the victory lane. Congratulations on tonight.
Thanks a lot.
$1995 marks the 10th anniversary for the Toronto Molson Indy. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. I still remember even going to the first one myself. The Toronto event is ranked tops among the IndyCar people. The whole city will come alive starting July 8th with Indy Festival events getting underway. Cars will take to the temporary circuit at Exhibition Place July 14th with the IndyCar headliner set for Sunday, July 16th. This week, the 1994 race winner Michael Andretti was in town to promote the 10th anniversary Molson Indy, and Pit Stop was there at the press conference. I wasn't there, but our producer was, Alcide Privado.
Michael, you've got a lot of fans in Durham region, and Durham region's also Paul Tracy country as well. And the last 4 races at Molson Indy, it was yourself and Paul Tracy who won it, and now you're both racing for Newman Haas. Are you pooling your resources in that, or are you sharing your experiences together is what I'm asking for. Like team synergy is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, no question. I mean, we are a team, and it's open book for both sides, you know. There are no secrets between us, and, you know, when we get out on a racetrack, then it's every man for himself. But off the track, we've both teams have been working together.
And now you're here at Molson Indy right now. What's going to be happening at Portland and Ohio?
Hopefully good things, you know. We've had a tough year so far, and hopefully we can break the ice at Portland and get a string going and keep it going through Toronto.
Do you have any special strategies from the past that you want to apply to Toronto?
Not really, no. I mean, it's funny how it's worked out here. I have no idea why we've done well here, but you know, a lot of it has to do with, I think I really enjoy the racetrack and enjoy coming up to Toronto. As you said, I feel a lot of support up here when I do come, so you know, I think when you weigh all those things together, maybe that's why I've done okay, but you know, there is no different strategy or anything like that.
What's your favorite feature of the Toronto track? Is there a particular corner or a particular straightaway that you really enjoy?
Not really. I think it's just the whole thing. I think what I like about it is you're able to pass, and if you have a race car that's quick, you're able to get ahead of the guy in front of you, and I think that's always makes for better racing, and you know, I think that's probably the best thing about it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Great.
Oh, Michael will be one of the tough ones here. The guy has 4 wins, most of anybody, won 3 of the last 4, and is the only guy here in Toronto to win from the pole, so look out for Michael Andretti. Thanks to Cheetah, and also thanks to John Herringa, the man behind the camera. Now let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend. The SCCA Trans Am are at Portland International Raceway. Indy cars are off. They'll be at Portland June 25th. Winston Cup will be at Michigan for the Miller Genuine Draft 400 this weekend, and Motorsport International Speedway has racing Saturday, June 17th at 6:30. And the CASC Ontario Region competitors are at Motorsport Park for the running of the British Empire Motor Club Spring Trophy races June 17th and 18th. Can-Am Midgets will be running Holland, New York Saturday, and the big kart event of the summer will take place. The Barrie Grand Prix is this weekend. That's all for now, folks. I'm going home to a bucket of Neo Citron. I'll see you next week right here back on Pit Stop. And remember, race car, spelled backwards, it's still race car. Take care, folks.